Hey babes, welcome to story time today. Today we are on The Rebels, Chapter 1. My cousin Sonya stuck her head out of the window, pulling her shirt open at the collar. Oh man, I'm dying. Why is it so frickin' humid? Hope, can we go back? There's a nice creek back there. I like that creek. Sonya pulled her head back in, looking at me with midnight blue eyes. Overweight, she had a comfortable belly and double chin, a stocky frame packed with muscle under the fat, and a missing tooth barely visible when she grinned. As a result of the extra weight, she got overheated easily, like now. We even had a bet going, set up before we left. I said she'd lose 7 pounds with the hiking. She bet 5. I glanced at her, laughing. Yeah, but we all got bills to pay. One day off is about all we can manage. Damn it. We'd just spent the last 3 days backpacking through the Opal Creek wilderness. It'd been 3 days of hiking, plus camping when we were tired, drinking from Opal Creek and swimming in the little North Santiam, walking the tracks and craning our heads back as far as the pack would allow, trying to see the tops of the trees, spreading our arms and breathing in the loam and crisp water-scented air, feeling insignificant, dwarfed by the giant, regal trees. Then I groaned, thinking about tomorrow. I had a crash repair, and the owner was a nightmare, calling every day to see if the damn car was ready. One of those new cars the government handed out to replace fossil fuel cars. They were so delicate that fixing parts couldn't be done. Instead, everything was replacement only, and I was still waiting for parts. Those cars spent more time with the techs getting the bugs worked out of their computer systems than on the road. Will, my cousin and Sonia's older brother, had more work than he could handle with all those damn things, and was also training his younger brother, Jake, in the computer work. I patted the steering wheel of my '87 GMC. Ancient, yes, but it didn't fully run on petrol anymore. I'd converted it after I bought it from our neighbors 4 years ago. Sure, she took some gas, but the adjustments I made meant she went a lot farther on one tank than these cars were originally designed to do. I didn't have so much as a computer chip in this baby, and repairs were quick and easy. If the stupid government initiative had listened to mechanics, we could have made modifications to all vehicles. Instead, scrapped cars were piled in heaps in junkyards across America. Morons. I need something pleasant to think about, I complained. I'm not ready for real life again. Son, what's good and nice? She didn't have to think. Dogs. And pizza. Speaking of which, want to stop and get some on the way home? I did some quick calculations. Will Tony be home? And you're stepping on a scale before you're allowed within smelling distance of that pizza. I want my Ben & Jerry's. Sonya laughed, a great belly roll. I loved watching her laugh. Merriment seeped from every pore. Her shoulders shook as she leaned back in the seat. Store Santas at Christmas could learn a thing or two from her about how to laugh. But I digress. Our entire bet was based on Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and I stood to win an entire pint. Then there was Tony, Sonia's sister and our roommate. I snorted softly. I spent more time with the Gattins, Son's family, than mine. I lived with Sonya and Tony in Silverton and worked with Will and Jake, just a 5-minute walk from our place. Will was married and lived in the house with our work garage. Jake and Dana lived with their mom, my Aunt Rose. My own family, the Wilkins, were based in Molalla, which is why I rarely saw them, though only Papa and Sean were there right now. Grace had just gotten married and was away on her honeymoon with her new husband, Charlie. And Peter, the baby of the family, had just gotten through boot camp 3 months earlier. So I'm the oldest, followed by Sean, then Grace, then, like I said, little Peter. I missed seeing Papa and Sean, but with the way things were, I didn't have time for the 45-minute drive twice a day that living in Molalla required. Couldn't find another job closer to home either. Work was scarce. Everybody held on to what they had. Nah, she's planning to stay at Steve's this week. Son shook her head. Closer to work is what she told me. I mean, she doesn't have to lie. She could just say she wanted to stay with him for a week. Tony and her boyfriend, Steve, were spending more time at his house than ours lately. Me and Son thought that we'd either be looking for a new roommate soon or moving in with Auntie Rose. Couldn't afford our place with less than 3 paychecks. No worries, I said, smiling a little. My other cousin, Mercy, was from Australia, and she'd come into town for my sister's wedding. I'd picked up a few of her slang words while she'd been here. I glanced in the rearview mirror, checking out the clouds. I reckon I've got enough for a pizza. Let's get a couple frozen ones from Safeway and take them to your mom's. Feed everybody. Pick up the dogs at the same time. Sonya's dogs, an elderly chow and lab mix and a border collie puppy, stayed at my aunt's while we were gone. Usually we'd take dogs with us, but Sin was too old and Obelix too young. I missed having dogs on our hikes. Lightning flashed behind us, illuminating the black clouds moving in from the south. For a moment, the evergreens were starkly outlined, standing in untidy rows on the foothills we'd just left. Nasty storm behind us, I commented, jerking a thumb over my shoulder. Sonya twisted around in her seat as thunder rumbled across the sky. She began counting the separation between lightning and thunder. I don't even know why I'm counting. Do you count between the thunder and lightning or the lightning and thunder? The damn clouds are moving fast anyway. Gonna be a bad one, too. Must be why we haven't seen any cars, I said, looking in the mirror again. The hell if I'd want to be caught out in this shitstorm that's coming. Must have been building for a while, too. Remember that thunder the first night? Freaky shit. Our first night out, we'd heard thunder and seen some flashes of lightning. Sounded like it came from the east, though. Now we know summer's over. 2 storms in 3 days. Should we check the weather report? Sonya reached for the dial on my radio. I snorted. That thing hasn't worked in forever. Besides, we don't need a weather report. We can see it gaining on us. Sonya stared in fascination out the window, watching the clouds loom closer and closer. Maybe we should get a few other things from Safeway while we're there, like candles. I giggled. I love a good storm. Thus ends chapter 1. If you'd enjoyed that, please like and subscribe to be notified and push the little bell button so you can be notified when the next one is uploaded. And if you know of anybody else who has trouble reading but would enjoy this, send them my way. Cheers.